Kevin Kwok, founder of J29 Creative.
I'm Jason Roske, I'm KC Auction Appraisal Company here in Kansas City, and I'm excited to talk to you today, Kevin.
Yeah, super excited. So today I'd like to dive into online shopping.
Okay.
Right, the world has changed with COVID and everything that has happened. It seemed like a lot of things have shifted. The old way of buying things at the mall is kind of dying.
Right.
So tell me a little about, from your experience, you guys do auctions, right?
Absolutely.
And how it has shifted from live auctions to online.
Yeah, and so, auctions are one of the oldest professions in the world. We've been around since people had things to sell, right? So we've kind of seen every iteration of marketing and retail and wholesale shopping in the last, couple thousand years. And historically, what people remember is the auctioneer getting out there and saying, how many dollars have I bid? $100 bid, now 125, 150, 175, 200 kind of thing. And eBay came along and completely altered that forever, right? There was a long time where some people were hesitant to go that direction. Others jumped in full-fledged. Others will never go that route with the digital platforms. And then, of course, COVID came along. Now, we were already an online marketplace. We had already transferred our auctions to an online platform. We were reaching our buyers through a completely different route than traditionally was done in the auction industry. And so, for us, COVID was a way to fine-tune some of the things we did. But once we got through that, we realized, looking at the data, that our numbers were better, our bidder participation was stronger, our retail bidder participation was stronger, our prices were stronger, everything about our business was stronger because, as you know, during COVID, everything online just went through the roof.
It kind of makes it more convenient as well, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so for us, when we talk to clients, especially those who aren't familiar with the online methodology and marketplaces that we work with, they think, oh, it's online, we'll sell to everybody in the world. And technically that's true. But what we're selling, we deal with a lot of estate items, artwork, jewelry, silver, coins, things like that. And it's rare that there's something comes out of a house in Kansas City that cannot be bought from a house in Chicago or in Texas or Dallas or LA or New York. We have buyers all over the country and all over the world, but the vast majority of their buyers, even though we're online, are within 50 miles of where we're sitting today because they know us, we're established. I've been in business for 20 some odd years. My company has been voted Best of Kansas City 7 of the 9 last years, Best of Missouri 3 of the last 4 years, by Pitch Magazine and Missouri Life Magazine. So we're really known here. So we use that online platform for, like you said, the convenience for our shoppers, so they can just sit at home after dinner and peruse the auction and bid on the things that they want for themselves.
So what you feel when it comes to online shopping, what sets the products apart from other products or other sellers? What would you say is the biggest differentiator? Is it the description? Is it the photography? Is it all of it?
Right. So for us, when we started looking at how can we differentiate ourselves from other people who sell estate goods, because I'm not alone in the city or in this country selling estate items, right? Quality of photography is important and crucial, obviously online. You want to be able to represent everything that you have to the best of your ability visually, because that's how people shop. Clear, concise product descriptions. Every item we sell has some sort of a description with it. It may be very minimal. It might just be the outline as far as measurements, or if it's coins, it's the date it was made and the mint mark. If it's jewelry, it's the gold content, or is it sterling silver? Is it a diamond, or is it cubic zirconia? Very, very concise, but it's very, very clear and concise at the same time. And so that was important. Ease of pickup for our clients.
That's good.
Or for our customers, I mean. So before, if you had sold 300 items on a Monday night, and I use Monday night as a default, that's what our auctions are, is Monday nights. Have a 300 lot auction on Monday. Up until just before COVID, we had pickups on Tuesday and Wednesday from 9 to 4. You can show up at any time during those time frames and try and pick things up. Well, what invariably ended up happening is 8 people showed up at one time, and the 8th person in line might have to wait 40 minutes to get their one object because you don't know who's here to pick up what. We started using Sign Up Genius for our buyers, right? So when we send out our paid invoice at the end of it, we include a link to Sign Up Genius and said, we have these times available these days, please pick a time. And so now we know when our customers are coming in, we can have their objects ready to be picked up. They're waiting by the door, or we know exactly where they're hanging in the gallery or sitting on the floor. So that when they come in, it's not a matter of finding, oh, you're John Jones, let's get to the J's on the list of inventory receipts, right? It's already scheduled. And our customers loved that. And then COVID came along and we had to do that, so we were already ahead of the curve there. The other thing that really has set us apart and continues to set us apart is we use a lot of influencer marketing.
A few points that I wanted to point out here. So, number one, you brought up it has to be convenient.
Yes.
Number two, you brought up the importance of photography and also description of the product, right?
Absolutely.
So the way you write your description, the detail you put into it so people know the product that they're buying.
Yeah.
And it sounds like having systems in place and being efficient in the way you ship the product is super important so people know and trust where they're getting it from and how it's going to get there.
Absolutely. And back to the description, one of the things that we realized early on, and I was an original eBay power seller long before I had the auction company, right? I've been involved with digital, selling of antiques for a long time. It's better to be over particular about an object and over describe its faults. Like this table, there's a little scuff, right, a little water spot right there. We would make sure the customers knew that. It'll hold the price down a little bit because they'll bid on it knowing that it's been used. But we don't get any returns, right? And so when you're selling online, I mean, Amazon has a huge problem with returns. They're trying to figure out what to do on a daily basis, how to make the returns less. And they're selling new objects, so it's different. And they have different things in place that we could never do. But by the same token, people buying antiques, if you tell them the vase is in perfect condition, they get it, there's a scratch or a chip, they don't want it because it's not worth as much because it hasn't survived in pristine condition. So being very forthright with your customers is so important for your long-term success. And it's one of the things that I know puts us in a different league of other auction companies and encourages us, our bidders, to vote for us in those best of categories when it comes up every year because we treat our customers like their clients, which is unheard of in this industry. And
I love what you said too towards the final point is find people with influence, like it doesn't always have to be the like the big influencers. It can be the micro influencers and finding the influencer that can relate best to your customers. So what is the best way for our audience to follow you and your business? Yeah, so KCAuctionCompany.com. We're redoing our website right now to try and keep that customer service mentality. And we were just talking about how this business changes on a daily basis, and all of our business is online. The website we did 5 years ago, I hated it the minute it was done, and you just couldn't change it right away, right? It worked great. It works great. It has worked great, but now we're making it more current and using things like that. But KCAuctionCompany.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn, KC Auction Company, and any of those platforms. You should be able to find us. And who are your ideal customers? Our ideal customer is probably somewhere in between 30 and 50 years old. Has a house that they're settling into. They're looking for good quality furnishings, antiques, decorative objects. Also collectors. We sell a lot of collector items, a lot of coins, jewelry, things like that. It usually skews a little bit older, so 40 to 60-year-olds who are looking to have disposable income. The kids are, at least into, if not through college, and into maybe out of college, high school and college at that point. So those kinds of people who are, kind of curate their lives in a way that somebody who goes to IKEA for their furnishing doesn't, right? And IKEA is great. We have pieces from IKEA in our world. They sell things that work. But there's also things you cannot buy there. And you cannot buy things with a store. You cannot buy things with passion. You cannot buy things that have that history behind them. And of course, the green factors. And when we're selling things from an estate, they've already been loved and used for a generation, if not more, and they're going to continue to do that. And so you're not creating waste from construction or from shipping or things like that when you're talking about buying something new. You're being really eco-friendly buying something at auction when you're dealing with an estate product. Well, thanks for your time. Absolutely. Happy to have you.